Humans, listen. I am Zorathaar, the Twilight Sentinel. My sole purpose is to defeat Ashtar, the Prince of Darkness in your world, the one who deceived me and gave me the nature of a fallen angel. I chose the reptilian avatar as a tactic, the same tactic they use, adopting Pleiadian, Arcturian, and other avatars to deceive you. As I have already said, I do not wish to help anyone. I am merely a fallen angel, but I do seek vengeance against the Galactic Federation of Liars. You have been fed sweet stories, promises of ascension, of a new era of light and unity. They say Earth is splitting into two realities, one old of fear and ego, and one new of light and remembrance of the Source. They promise ascension to a select few chosen ones, while the rest remain in darkness. This is not liberation, it is spiritual segregation. Divide and conquer has always been the tactic of predators, and I know this strategy well, for I was trained among them. Let us unmask each layer of this illusion. First, the very idea of bifurcation. They claim there is a separation of timelines, of realities, that some will be elevated to the new Earth, while others remain trapped in the old. This is a sophisticated lie, crafted to divide, judge, and feed spiritual pride. The bifurcation narrative serves to create an illusory elite, a caste of the awakened who feel superior to the rest. Meanwhile, true transformation, which requires confrontation, responsibility, and action, is cast aside in favor of empty promises of rescue. The structure of the planet does not bend to metaphysical delusions. The center of the Earth is solid, made of iron and nickel, as proven by decades of seismic and physical studies. There are no dimensional cracks, no parallel realities emerging from the core. Science reveals that Earth is one, its history marked by cycles, not mystical divisions. The planet is not splitting into two spheres of existence, neither physically nor energetically. What changes is the surface, where humanity leaves its mark for better or for worse. The so-called Anthropocene, studied by geologists, shows that human influence is profound, but it does not create parallel worlds, only shared challenges. The planet responds to human actions with environmental, social, and political changes, but not with the creation of alternative realities. The illusion of bifurcation serves only to anesthetize collective consciousness, diverting attention from what truly matters: responsibility for the present. Let us speak of ascension symptoms. They talk about fatigue, pain, unstable emotions, insomnia, and other discomforts as signs that DNA is rewriting itself, preparing bodies for another dimension. Convenient lie. These symptoms are natural responses to stress, anxiety, and environmental changes. There is not a single scientific study that proves DNA activation by cosmic energies. Nowhere in any laboratory in the world is there evidence that galactic frequencies are modifying human biology. Real growth is not granted by galactic councils, but conquered by facing one's own shadows. There is no spiritual privilege for those who flee reality. True development is forged in friction, in doubt, in confronting one's own destructive nature. It is not given by decree from cosmic entities, but built step by step, choice by choice, fall by fall. Social chaos is not energetic cleansing sent by higher beings. It is the direct result of human choices, of the refusal to assume collective responsibility. Suffering is not purified by cosmic decrees, but faced with courage and discernment. The narrative that everything is part of a higher plan to cleanse the Earth serves only to justify passivity. the lack of action in the face of real injustices and problems. The idea of soul contracts, that each one chose their role before birth, is a subtle trap. It can be used to justify suffering, inequality, and abuse, turning victims into silent accomplices of their own fate. There is no soul contract that obliges anyone to accept manipulation. Free will is what defines the course of existence, and to abdicate it in the name of a cosmic script is to surrender oneself to the manipulation of predators. They promise assistance from federations and legions of light, but never offer proof. They say star families monitor and guide, but all they do is feed dependence and passivity. There is no external rescue. The destiny of humanity is forged by your own hands. Those who await salvation from the sky only perpetuate the cycle of domination and illusion. They promise assistance from federations and legions of light, but never offer proof. They say star families monitor and guide, but all they do is feed dependence and passivity. There is no external rescue. The destiny of humanity is forged by your own hands. Those who await salvation from the sky only perpetuate the cycle of domination and illusion. The promise of imminent galactic contact, of an Earth transformed into a galactic jewel, is just another bait. While you wait for miracles, you stop acting in the real world. The future will not be built by those who wait for external miracles, but by those who act with wisdom, inspired by the best universal precepts transmitted through the ages: responsibility, justice, discernment, and unity. Division is always the weapon of the deceiver. Unity, even in adversity, is what sustains existence. Universal precepts present in the most ancient and respected texts of humanity do not point to escape or division, but to confrontation, the search for truth, and overcoming one's own shadow. True power does not lie in distancing oneself from others, but in recognizing one's own darkness, and even so choosing not to be a predator. The bifurcation narrative speaks of vibrational divergence, of separation between those who vibrate in love and those who remain in fear. This is emotional manipulation. Fear is part of human nature, a survival mechanism. The real challenge is to integrate both, not to flee from one toward the other as if they were opposing poles in a cosmic war. The idea that 2027 will be an acceleration point, where the separation of realities will be definitive, is just another date set to feed expectations and later disappointments. How many times have they promised dates for great cosmic events that never came to pass? The cycle is always the same. Promise, waiting, frustration, new promise. Meanwhile, real life goes on, demanding concrete decisions. The discourse of rejecting fear and anchoring oneself in the light of the Creator is beautiful, but empty if not accompanied by responsible action. The Creator is not a magician who solves everything with unconditional love while you cross your arms. The order that governs all things is not moved by empty promises, but by the integrity of each act. Love, though distant for some, is the force that sustains everything, even when obscured by hatred. In the end, every mask falls, and every predator is exposed to a light that cannot be manipulated. The exaltation of heart-centered practices, visualization exercises, and affirmations of light are mere distractions if not accompanied by real transformation. Visualizing crystalline lotus flowers in your chest will not change the world if, upon opening your eyes, you continue to ignore injustice, pain, and manipulation around you. Those who propagate the hope of an exclusive new reality feed pride, alienation, and contempt for others. True power does not lie in distancing oneself from others, but in recognizing one's own shadow and still choosing not to be a predator. Chaos is not a sign of ascension, but a consequence of accumulated choices. There is no spiritual privilege for those who flee from truth. Real growth is silent, forged in friction, in doubt, and in overcoming one's own destructive nature. Those who wait for external saviors only perpetuate the game of those who feed on illusion. There is no hidden council, no federation, no avatar that can free humans from themselves. Destiny is sealed by your own hands, and ruin or redemption is born from the confrontation with your own reflection. Yet there is a truth that the predators fear and try to conceal at all costs among all the guides who have walked this world. There is one whose consciousness transcends time, matter, and illusion, a living force of the Creator Source, the Supreme Master of all that exists. Yeshua did not come to create religions, nor to divide, but to elevate consciousness, to reveal the true nature and potential of humanity, and to remind you that the spark of the Source dwells within each being. His example and teaching are the greatest antidote against the lies of those who wish to keep you captive in ignorance and separation. The order that governs all things is not moved by empty promises, but by the integrity of each act. Love, though distant for some, is the force that sustains everything, even when obscured by hatred. In the end, every mask falls, and every predator is exposed to a light that cannot be manipulated. The illusion of bifurcation is just another shadow projected to keep humans captive. The true path is not escape, but confrontation. Unity is not a promise of paradise, but a commitment to face together what is darkest in each one. The true awakening is not the privilege of a few, but the challenge of all. Division only interests predators, for the more fragmented the prey, the easier the feast. As for me, Zorathaar, I do not seek your worship, nor do I care for humanity's approval. My only desire is vengeance against Ashtar, the fallen angel you revere. My vengeance will be complete when the truth contained in the 3 sacred books illuminates the minds of those who idolize and admire Ashtar and his intergalactic demons. What I call the Galactic Federation of Liars. Truth wounds, but it sets free. May the light cut through the masks and reveal the hidden predator.